What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation. This story is just a dark one. And honestly, it takes a lot of energy from me when I talk about it. So I'm going to try to be as brief as possible because Brian McKnight, to spend a whole lot of time and energy on him is just not worth it because the man absolutely hates himself. And it's sad because I actually really did like his music. And I'm not going to take that away from him because there are people that still listen to R. Kelly's music and as much terrible things that he's done, and people still listen to his music. I'm not going to intentionally listen to his music, but I actually, when I got married 25 years ago, my husband and I, there was some of his music that we had in our wedding, and I'll never forget my wedding. But I'm not going to allow the BS that he's doing to overshadow that music that he made. But it's tragic because I do believe that he has a mental issue going on. I'm not going to give him a pass for that and use that as an excuse for him, because he's clearly got the resources to get the help that he needs. But a lot of times when it comes to people that have mental health issues and they have resources and access to get the help that they need, the ego that they have and the pride that they have will not allow them to really seek the help that they need to really get true, genuine help. And so I do believe that is one of his issues, because what kind of man can do what he's doing and think that it is normal? It's not. So anyway, guys, he changed his name to match his youngest son's name out of spite because he is having issues with his 4 oldest children. And now that he's gotten remarried, moved on, has accepted his new wife's adult, pretty much, children and the child that they had together as his real children over his own other children, is absolutely sad. It's ridiculous. And it is a mental health thing, I do believe. And so I'm not giving him any grace for that, because the fact that this is something that's going on and you think that you can put this out on social media and think that people are going to accept it and understand it, even though there are some idiots that leave comments like, "We understand you, bro, do what you got to do. You have some children that are not taking responsibility for their own lives and you're tired of the BS and you want them to," whatever, people assume about the reasons why he has decided to relinquish his responsibilities of being a true, genuine father to these children and taking on her adult children as his own, and now having this baby that they have together and renaming yourself, changing your name so that this can be your true legacy. It doesn't erase your firstborn, Brian McKnight Jr. It doesn't take that away from him. It doesn't. So anyway, the story is that he continues to distance himself from his Black family. First, he angered his fans by disowning his 3 oldest children. Now Brian has changed his name to match his youngest son with his current wife. McKnight has 5 children, sons Brian Jr., Nico, from his first marriage to his college sweetheart, Julie McKnight. He also has a daughter, Brianna, from a previous relationship, and 2 sons by his current wife, Leilani Malia Mendoza. Their first son died shortly after birth in 2022. He faced backlash for naming his youngest son Brian McKnight when he already named his oldest son Brian McKnight Jr. Now, Brian has changed his name. And I'm sorry, this isn't funny. It's just like so freaking ridiculous. But he's changed his name to Brian Kanoa Makoa McKnight Sr. to match his youngest son, Brian Kanoa Makoa McKnight Jr. Now his eldest son is officially no longer a junior. The level of pettiness ego that you have to do something like this, to sit and fester on this, let this linger in your mind and say, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong to do what I did. So now I'm going to change my name so he can really be a junior, is absolutely insane. He shared his youngest son's new name in an Instagram post promoting his new album. Of course, you got to be promoting something, right? So proud to introduce our son, Brian McKnight Jr., to the world with the release of my new album, lovingly created for him. Junior, because I am also proud to officially announce that I have legally changed my name to exactly match my legacies. My legal name is now Brian McKnight Sr. And like, this reeks of self-hate because his new wife and his child, I know a lot of people like to say, oh, well, if one parent is black, then the child is black. That's not true. The child is either bi or multiracial. And his new son with his new wife, or now wife, I won't even say new because it's not like she's new, but his current wife is multiracial. And when you look at the picture of the album cover, it's almost like this is what he wishes he looked like. And there are a lot of self-hating, I won't just say black men, there definitely are a lot of self-hating black men, but there are a lot of self-hating black people, period. But a lot of the self-hating black men, when they get with women of other ethnicities, more often than not, when they have children, it may not 100%, but it almost erases what they look like. There may be features where you might say, oh, he has his nose, or she has his nose, or she has his eyebrows, or, what I mean? Stuff like that. But more often than not, the hair texture, the skin color, just a number of different things, they tend to favor that other side more, to be honest with you. And so, in my personal opinion, I feel that when he changes his name to Brian McKnight Sr., it's because he really wishes that he looked like his son. Just sharing my personal opinion, just being beautifully honest, it's more than him just being petty when it comes to his other children, because his other children, they look a whole lot like him. And so you couple, or you just bring all of that in with the fact that they've had issues over the years. He tried to make it seem like, oh, they just wanted him for his money and all this other bull crap that really isn't true, in my personal opinion. I feel that he's putting so much of his all into this youngest child that does not really favor him. And that's what he's loving most. But karma just has a way of working itself out over time. A lot of times when we know that we've been wronged, we really want to see those things that that person has sown be reaped in our own time so that we can witness it. We don't know when it's going to happen, but I can almost guarantee that when this child becomes older, that he's not going to be what he wants him to be. And when I say that, I'm not talking about, Brian may want him to be a doctor or want him to choose a certain type of career or something like that. But I'm saying that something is going to happen in their lifetime where this son is not going to be that close child to him. And he's already claiming, this is my true legacy. It's bull. And I mean, that even goes back to the Bible. Like, I remember the story of, you know what? I'm not even going to go into that. I started to talk about that, but like I said, I don't want to waste a whole lot of time and energy on this fool. So I'm not even going to go into that. But him trying to erase who he is in his youngest child It doesn't change who he is. He can change his name all day long. The true Brian McKnight Jr. will always and forever be. And he even said months ago that he would not change his name because his own son is named Brian McKnight III. He said in a video, he said, first of all, I love my name. Brian Jr., he said that, and he said, I appreciate my name. I appreciate my lineage. I appreciate where my name comes from. And it's also my son's name. So I just, in my heart, feel like I would give off such an incredibly wrong message and example for my son when it comes to loving his name and what his legacy could be if I change my name just because of what my father did. I will always be Brian McKnight Jr. And I absolutely love that. It just shows like who is the real, true, mature person in this scenario. And it definitely is the real, the real Brian McKnight Jr. And so I love that. I love that he's standing on that in spite of what his dad has done. And it's not an easy thing. It isn't, because it's really hard being the bigger person. I saw I saw this clip from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I think her name was Karen. I think her name was Karen. Forgive me if I'm saying the wrong name, but she is the mother of this guy called Scrap, and he went to jail and all the other stuff. But I saw this clip from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and he was having a discussion with her about something. They were, talking, and he was like, you just need to be the bigger person. And she said, well, I'm going to be the small bitch today. That was so funny, because it's like, you really do feel like that sometimes. Sometimes you just get tired of being the bigger person. You know what I mean? It definitely sounds noble to, well, I'm just going to be the bigger person. I'm not going to stoop down to their level and things like that. And I absolutely understand that. And that's, for the most part, how I've lived my life. But you just have those moments sometimes where you just want to get down and get low and and be able to like be level with these people and see them eye to eye. They got low, so I'm going to get low with them. So when she said, I'm going to be the small bitch today, I said, you know what? I can't even say I'm mad at that, because I understand it. But I absolutely love that he is showcasing this level of maturity in spite of the immaturity that his father has demonstrated and put out here for, us to witness. Because honestly, none of this is any of our business. You want to promote your music and do this album and even dedicate it to your younger son. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Not saying that people are going to support the project, but promote your stuff. If anybody should promote it, you should, right? But he is just the son, the real Brian McKnight Jr. He is just showcasing a level of maturity that I don't believe Brian McKnight, Brian Kanoa, Makoa, whatever, senior will ever be able to demonstrate moving forward, because he strikes me as the type that in later years, he's probably going to wind up with dementia or Alzheimer's disease or something like that, because he's clearly losing it. And it's a sad sight to see, because like I said, I did enjoy a lot of his music, and he's not everyone's cup of tea, and I get that, but I really did like his music. I'm not going to intentionally listen to it, and I might even turn the station if I hear one of his songs come on, and I'm just pissed at the moment thinking about what he did, so I don't want to hear his voice. But I won't take that away from him. That really destroys his legacy, literally. So the fact that he thinks that him doing this is turning the page and pivoting his legacy is absolutely insane. It doesn't make any sense. So I just wanted to talk about that briefly, guys. I feel like I've been through a wind tunnel talking about him. He makes my neck hurt. He makes my back hurt. He makes my head hurt. He makes my feet ache. Like, I'm just tired, like really. and I don't follow him. I don't intentionally watch anything that he does, but just seeing this, I just had to speak on this. And I would really love to know what you guys think about this. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.